Sometimes you do something and you don't really understand why you did it till after the fact. This holds for when I gave spiritual sermons to my friends on Zoom during the pandemic. There I am. It might be hard to recognize me because I grew a mustache during the pandemic. Some of my friends, because we were self-isolating, wanted to do something communal. So I thought, let's get together and have a spiritual service on Zoom. The idea was hatched because one of them had seen me in a play where I had played a pastor.
Try, the officious gent who spoke.
There, I'm playing the character, which named pastor in the play Outward Bound.
I don't remember that.
So I had lived the character, and I had the costume. Without much to do in these lonely times of the pandemic, and needing something to do in these lonely times of the pandemic, we did it. We had a spiritual service on Zoom. Now, there are some people who might ask, is it right that you play a pastor? I've already had to confront that because that's what my mother shrieked when she saw a few of the videos. Will they excommunicate you? I don't even belong to a church. What if some people take you seriously and want to be part of your flock? What if news outlets want to interview you on spiritual matters? Am I being disrespectful? Is it okay for me to do this, to play a pastor? I came to the opinion that it was perfectly fine. But I knew someone would ask me and they would not just trust my intuition. I had to do some research. All you need to do is look at Martin Luther, who is a theologian, and not just an amateur theologian, and he's one of the seminal figures in Christianity over the last 1,000 years. His theories brought about the Protestant Reformation, the religious reform movement that swept through Europe in the early 16th century, beginning in 1517 when Martin Luther nailed his 95 treatises to the door of the Castle Church in Wittenberg, Germany. Martin Luther believed that all people, including me, including you, have a direct connection with God, and that there is no need to go through a priest. So, I have a direct connection with God, just like everyone else. Just like you have a direct connection with God as well. Now, it doesn't mean that there's no need for priests or people who are learned on these matters, because we need help from one another in spiritual matters, as in everything in life. So, during the worst of the pandemic, during the isolation, we had a Zoom service once a week. Here I am, giving a sermon.
Whether it is in Mr. Turgis's living room where they're discussing vacuum cleaners, Ms. Trace...
Here I am giving a consultation with some of the characters my friends decided to be during these services.
Whatever treatment you've had has certainly done you some good.
I feel wunderbar.
And here I am giving a meditation on the evils of hoarding.
Holding in my hand a small matchbook, seemingly innocuous, but like the straw that broke the camel's back, it could be the tipping point that forces you to bear a cross of clutter. You can get rid of the matchbooks, but that won't solve it.
If you watch my meditations on the evils of hoarding, which I call bearing a cross of clutter, you will realize that there's a spiritual reason and impetus why we hoard and why we should stop hoarding. I've always considered myself a bit of an amateur theologian, and being Pastor Sam gave me the opportunity to be that amateur theologian and to examine spiritual matters in a unique way. Yes, there's a little humor, but I don't think using humor is a bad thing. Many pastors tell jokes. Joel Osteen likes to start off all his sermons with a joke.
Thanks again for coming out in person. I like to start with something funny, and I heard about this reporter. He was visiting.
The pastor, Jess, Moody, would tell jokes about his friend, Burt Reynolds.
And I rolled the window down in his pickup, and I took that 30-30. I said, "You see his prize mule over there?" I said, "Watch this." And I took it, and blam, down I fired. The mule went down, and I was there just worried about shooting the mule, but also a little tickled at the trick I'd played on Bert. And all of a sudden I heard his 30-30 go blam, blam. He said, "I got 2 of his cows. Let's get out of here."
And Cardinal Timothy M. Dolan, Archbishop of New York, is known to have a great personality and a great sense of humor. I've read it in magazines and on the web. So, there is room for humor in spiritual matters. Doing these projects, as well as helping me to keep my sanity during the isolation of the pandemic, help me to think through both spiritual and secular issues in a way that I would not have done if I had just been a normal person. That's what happens. From time to time, I don't mind wearing my pastor outfit and playing the part of Pastor Sam. And because we all have a direct connection to God, that's what Martin Luther believed to a certain extent, we all play the part of a pastor from time to time. I hope the clips I post as Pastor Sam will entertain and inspire you to tap into your own amateur theologian. I've included a link to my first meditation on clutter at the end of this video. And if you like this video or that video, click the like button and subscribe to see more of Pastor Sam in the future. God bless you, and thank you kindly.